rolling in Boston, up 23 at the half. So let's start right there, Chauncey. What is this Rockets team doing today to the Celtics?
Well, I just think there's a certain pride that they're playing with defensively. You know, they really are. I mean, when you have an isolation situation, like look at James right here, knowing I have to take pride in this matchup. And if I get beat, I'll have some help somewhere down the line, but they're communicating. They're taking pride, the effort. You look at Eric Gordon right here. This is a tough matchup. This is Kyrie. Nobody can guard him. But guess what? I got help.
Apparently.
And those are some of the best hands the league has ever seen in Chris Paul. So I'm just liking what they've done on the defensive end at this point.
And just full disclosure, he's not happy back behind the scenes.
What they've done on defense, but I don't like what the Celtics have done offensively. Since All-Star break, they're last in offensive efficiency, and they just take bad shots. You know, they too many empty possessions, too many one-on-one opportunities, and you know that's not a recipe for success if you're trying to build to a winning championship. Look at these empty possessions they have, and if you're taking bad shots, you don't get to the free throw line. So, you know, this team is bad at both right now.
And as it relates to the Houston Rockets, they're doing just the opposite, Mr. Paul Pierce, of your Boston Celtics. Giving up good shots to get great shots. And that's how you have a big-time lead on the road.
Yeah, you do. Part of that is because of one Eric Gordon. This is just one of his 5
He's a shooter, guys. Can somebody get to him?
Nah.
Don't have to.
Get it. The wide open three, up by 6.
This is proven to be a very good pickup. This dude is knocking that three ball down.
Well, this one's ugly, and it got ugly pretty fast. Look at that score at half. 82 points on the board. The other team in L.A. also not having a good night. Last night, they lost to the worst team in the West in Phoenix. Lakers have now lost 17 of their last 26 and are further and further away from that 8th spot.
And this is why I say shut down LeBron.
You have said that.
For one, the Lakers, this is a lost season. LeBron is 15th all-time in NBA history in minutes. First in playoff minutes. He's 7th all-time in regular seasons and postseason minutes combined. 239 playoff games, was 4th most in NBA history all time. If you want to preserve LeBron for the next 3 years and get all you want out of him, it's time to
shut him. You don't need to preserve LeBron James. He's not sitting down, Paul. This dude is a competitor, and I disagree. This has not been a lost season. There's some positives to take away from it. We sat up here on this desk early in the season saying, this is an 82-game tryout to see who's going to make the varsity squad next year. There's been some gems out there. So it hasn't all been lost.
They've been that much of a gems. Nobody... New Orleans did not accept that trade.
You got to lead
so-called gym.
You got to lead from the front. If you sit him down, that's an admission. That's almost like quitting on the year.
Sit him down.
That's like punting.
Or put him on minutes.
That don't even make sense.
He must have sat down on the Celtics.
You got to preserve LeBron for the next 3 years.
40 points.
It only makes sense.
But we got to get away from this attitude. If you're not about to win a championship, then you should play.
LeBron.
Well, I do like that attitude.
Sit down, Zion. Sit down, LeBron. No, he getting $35 million to play basketball, and we need to see it.
MVP, but how he feel about a repeat performance? Rachel Nichols got to ask him about it in our Straight Talk soundbite.
You have said that you want the MVP again this season. Make your case to me. Why do you deserve it?
What do you mean? Just look at all what we've had to go through when you put, you know, any other guy in this situation that I've been in, and they probably wouldn't be here in the same situation, you know. And so we got a chance to get to that, you know, top 3 seed in the West, which we all know how difficult that is. But I mean, that conversation of being in the MVP is something that's my goal every year, and it's been the goal since the last, you know, 5 years.
Fair enough. Not everyone will admit that. He wants another MVP. Who's your choice right now?
James Harden, you don't have to tell everybody what you're doing. We're watching it. I got the beard.
Okay.
Well, I agree with everything Harden is saying. I have to go with Giannis for the simple fact no one had Milwaukee being at the top of not only the East but the league at this point in the season.
I agree. I know where you're going, but it's not necessarily a team award, though you got to factor winning in. And I like to think about the Heisman Trophy. For me, Harden has had more wow moments. Okay, like 50-point games with 10 assists, 40-point games, the 30-point streaks. So I think he's had to do something that made it a little more outstanding. But they're 1A and 1B.
He has the zhuzh.
But we based this award over the years based on team performance and individual performance, and they go hand in hand. Based on the criteria, best team, best player. I'm just saying.
Well, I want to stick with the Rockets for a second because obviously CP3 and Capella have both returned, and they have improved. How exactly, Chauncey?
You know, in so many ways, Beads, but we were very critical of this team early on. I mean, really were. They were really, really underachieving. They started to pick it up. We'll go to the tape right here for the court vision, but they've made a 100-degree turn in terms of the spirit of the team. And here's how. Rockets ball movement. Now, look at James. He advances the ball right here, but a lot of times he gets that outlet and nobody else touches the ball. Well, there's been a shift now. Look how many passes they make. Chris Paul gets into the middle of the paint where he can obviously knock down that shot, but swing. And now you get it to James when he can ISO real quick when the defense can't come and double team. They move in the basketball. That's 7 passes on one play. We haven't seen them do that. Now you look at multiple efforts defensively. You look at the switch right there. Now you look at Eric Gordon coming over to help right there. Nice job by Manimal taking away that baseline pass. PJ helps him. James helps him. And now Chris does a good job of contesting without fouling, and they collect a rebound. That's 7 efforts. And the Beard, the most interesting offensive player in the world. He gets in his bag right here. Now, if all else fails, just give the Beard the ball. And he can go get you 60 on any given night. So the spirit of this team has changed with them just being not only cohesive, but sharing the basketball and being unselfish on both ends of the floor.
Okay.
Sharing basketball. That's why James got the most dribbles in the league history.
Yeah, and you've seen 7 passes right there.
He did show you that.
That's a team high.
Wait,
that's what they've been doing lately.
If they're going to threaten the league, if they're going to really pose a threat to this Golden State Warriors team and then moving on after that, would you rather see a team that has Harden scoring 40, 50, even 60 points, as you said, or the more balanced option?
40 points plus. This is when they're at their best. This is what they've been doing all year. This is what the team system is. This is what they're accustomed to. The team is 17-6 when he scores 40 plus. Do you know what they are when he scores under 40? The team is only 18-17. So right there tells you they're a better team when he's out there getting buckets.
These finals MVPs know this as well as anyone. What you're able to do in the regular season, what you're able to do in the postseason are way different. And so you can get away with that ISO ball, leading the league in dribbles, and all of that stuff. But in the playoffs, teams are going to lock in. It's the team dynamic. You got to swing the ball back and forth like Chauncey just broke down. Chris Paul has to be a factor. When they were at their best last year, like both of these guys were flirting with 10 assists on a nightly basis. The Manimal has really helped them out a lot, Kenneth Faried. But I think James Harden has to rely on the guys around him to make the game a lot easier.
I just don't see how you change your style of play once the playoffs start, though. This is how they play.
Well, I want to throw the standings up there as a reminder. The Rockets right now, a game out of third, along with Utah, hottest team in the conference over the last 10 games, including 4 straight wins. And they, just like their opponent today, 14-1 odds to win it all, 4th best in the NBA. Jalen, Denver's had a great season, a little sluggish lately. You've got OKC, who's lost 4 in a row. Paul George, a little dinged up. Right now, how would you rank this Rockets squad?
I think the Rockets and OKC are the 2 teams I give the best chance to up in the Golden State Warriors or take them to a long series because they both have 2 savvy veterans that they can rely on. That each team has an MVP, and then obviously you have Chris Paul and Paul George now playing at an MVP level. So I trust them in the playoffs. For the Nuggets, to me, it's going to be a lot to do with home court advantage and matchups if they're able to possibly make it to the conference finals.
Mr. Defense, you're the Celtics today on defense. What do you take away, or what do you try to take away from the game?
Well, you have to show James Harden some different coverages. First of all, you have to trap him sometimes. You have to sometimes just run a guy at him. He ISO. Sometimes, a lot of times when he gets trapped in a pick and roll, he just won't call a pick and roll. So he'll ISO. And if that happens, you have to fire a guy at him, which means just run a guy at him, no matter where that guy's coming from, just to make him think something different. Because as Paul said, when he gets 40, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
And he can get 40 on any given night.
Not let him get 40. Seems simple. SportsCenter tonight on ESPN after LAFC Sporting Kansas City with Steve Levy and John Anderson. Breaking down the NCAA field from top to bubble. Moments from soccer's opening weekend, MLS. And Antonio Brown reveals how his relationship with the Steelers soured. Oh, I think we know. SportsCenter, 10:30 Eastern on ESPN and the app. Coming up, Kyrie Irving is the most clutch player in the league. But is it more style than skill. Scoop Jackson gets all caffeinated and talks about Kyrie's trend. He breaks it down. Chris Paul passing Karl Malone for 10th on the all-time steals list on Thursday. Next on the list, Spurs legend Alvin Robertson.
He had a mean dice game.
May or may not be old enough to remember a character called Mars Blackman, hypothesizing that the thing that made Michael Jordan as great as he was just had to be the shoes. Flash forward 30 years, and the show-stopping exploits of Kyrie Irving. How does he do it? It's got to be the shirt tail. Here's Scoop Jackson.
How's it going? What can I get for you? Double espresso. Sure.
I have a medium black coffee.
Stick everything up?
What the? Things just ain't working out today. Nothing's going right. Maybe I need to do a Kyrie.
Hey, so you know what's about to happen?
Oh, I definitely know.
Yeah, because every time his jersey comes untucked, he goes into superhero mode. Like he knows that's his superpower.
Oh, behind the back move by Irving and score!
Untucked Kyrie is an alter ego. It's a superhero. When Peter Parker rips off the suit and becomes Spider-Man, when you untuck Kyrie's jersey, he becomes that superhero, that avenger of NBA basketball.
Vibranium to T'Challa, spinach to Popeye, Reggie Miller when seconds are going down. Game 3's in the finals to KD.
Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
He turns into Super Kyrie. Crazy shots, doing impossible things. Latte for Becca, living that untucked life.
Kyrie, tough shot. Uncle Drew with another one.
In that game specifically, you knew every single time that he came down the floor, it was not only was he going to get a bucket, but he was going to make a mockery of every single person guarding him. And I swear it's only because he feels he's loose, because that jersey is untucked.
Untucked equals unguardable. Untucked means unstoppable.
I haven't found one NBA player yet that has been able to stop untucked Kyrie. Even LeBron, the Warriors, the only person who can stop untucked Kyrie is either Uncle Drew or another untucked Kyrie guarding him.
Go untucked, become a hero. I feel you, Kyrie. I feel you.
Scoop, you're silly. Now, of course, the NBA does not endorse the untucking of any article of clothing unless it happens during normal game action. So for Kyrie and the Celtics, that's sort of been the issue. The Celtics are 1-6 in their last 7 with Kyrie, 6-1 in their last 7 without, and that is regardless of the status of one's jersey. Paul, talk to me about the system, the offensive system that will really showcase Kyrie as a winner.
I think we've already saw that in Cleveland, where he didn't have to be the main guy. I truly believe where if you create a system where Kyrie doesn't have to be the leading scorer, he can be that 1B guy. That's a system that we saw him be very successful in. Now all the pressure's on him, all the defense, all the scout report is just all about Kyrie. And it's tough for a small guard to lead a team to a championship. So if you can put him in the system to where maybe you have that other player who can be that
he's a 1B
scorer. I think he's a 1B for a championship team because he's already shown that. So maybe if one of these other Celtics can emerge as a 1A, a la Jason Tatum.
So Kyrie's not good enough to be the best player on a championship team is basically what you're saying.
But my belief always, Chauncey, you know this. I don't believe you're a point guard unless you're an all-time point guard, a la Magic, a la Isaiah.
You're looking at me saying this.
Steph Curry.
You're looking at me saying this.
Huh? Rare case.
2004.
Rare case. You and Tony Parker. Outside of that, Magic, Isaiah, Steph Curry, all-time guards. I don't think can be your best player to win a championship.
So, and I'm with you on this. So basically you're saying Steph is on a level,
yes.
Kyrie isn't.
All time. We already put Steph Curry on the top 3 or 4 all-time point guard status.
Then that begs the question. He is going to be a free agent. We put the numbers up with and without him on the court. What do you do if you're Boston?
To me, it's twofold, because you can't, we talked about his greatness, right?
Yeah.
You can't just get that kind of talent anywhere. He's one of the greatest,
without a doubt,
most talented point guards we've ever seen. However, I do think if they go a different direction, they can be successful without Kyrie. I believe that as well. So it's twofold, in my opinion.
You still need a superstar to win in this league. Kyrie is a superstar. You need that. There's no way you win in this league without having that. Every final shows it. You need a top 5 player.
So I got a question for you, Paul, Mr. Celtic. You can answer it too. If you're Boston, if you had the opportunity to keep Kyrie or you have a shot at Anthony Davis, what do you do?
Anthony Davis.
No, I have to lean toward Anthony Davis because he...
So they can go another route and still be successful.
Need to win a championship. He is a top 5 player. A player that you need to win a championship in this league.
I mean,
history has shown that. Outside of what you did in Detroit, Detroit and San Antonio with Tony Parker.
I got you.
It just doesn't.
But what you guys are acknowledging, and rightfully so, that there's levels to this. So there's all-star players, they're all NBA players, they're MVP level players, and they're all-time great players.
Yes.
And so we kind of just slotted Kyrie. Here's the kind of issue that he's had in Boston. He came to a turnkey situation, had the most rings. People perceive the best GM, the best coach, the best young talent, and also the best assets for the draft. And he seems miserable there.
Right.
And so when they're a 5th seed, I feel like this is going to be a final season playing with that squad regardless of what the Celtics want to do.
New pastures. Well, he's not done yet because he will be facing LeBron. Celtics Lakers highlight next week's NBA Saturday primetime game presented by HyperX Gaming. Obviously, both teams struggling lately. It's an important matchup. Must win for one. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 8, 5 Pacific on ABC. And as always, you can watch it on the app. Let's check out who is playing with confidence, brought to you by Toyota. It's Clint Capella, returning with confidence the last 5 games, 12 points, 12 boards, and a 4-1 record.
We got a backup pair of those earbuds. You always lose them at least once.
Crossover, got it! Harden with a step-back 3. Got another one. Shake and bake, and drills it. Now the crossover, now you're frozen. Kyrie Irving putting on a show. Harden with a cold-blooded 3. Man down. Oohs and ahs from the crowd.
That's what he does so well.
Time to go courtside for Rockets Celtics. So James Harden's lowest shooting percentage happens to be against the Celtics, Jalen. What is it that they do that does that for him?
You are your skill set, Michelle Beadle. And when I look at the Boston Celtics, I notice something. They have lockdown defenders on the perimeter. Marcus Smart comes to mind, Jaylen Brown. When he runs pick and roll actions, Al Horford is one of the better bigs in containing pick and roll ball handlers. So the Celtics do a really good job of making him play in the crowd.
And on the opposite side of that spectrum, Paul, Kyrie happens to average his 2nd most against any team against the Rockets. You expect another big game?
Yeah, he always shows up in these type of games, especially on national television. I expect him to really step up tonight, but I don't see him scoring 26 to 30 points tonight. I think he's going to do a better job today at getting his teammates involved. Look to him to get double-digit assists today.
Ooh, double-digit
I'm going to look to Paul. I'm glad you said that. I'm going to look to Paul Pierce for a last-minute wager for us, please. And thank you.
Kyrie, how many assists will Kyrie have today?
13.
8.
7.
I'm going 9.
11.
11.
Take it easy, Kai.
Now the Rocket Celtics.
So low-key that you might not see me.